So, thank you for being invited to this workshop. My name is Fred NORDSTROM, and I will present for you some situation in Sweden regarding renewable energy, and I will also present a project that we have been working with in the north of Sweden to increase the interest for renewable energy. So I will start. I'm working as a director for the regional energy agency in the north of Sweden, Norrbotten. And we are the most northern regional energy agency in Europe, created in '97. And we are owned by the county council and all the municipalities in the region. And we working with projects in sustainable use of energy. And it's all about the regional development. I will also point out this model we work with in Sweden when it comes to energy advisory service in, on local level. From the national policy, we can, the National Energy Agency is the agency to put the Swedish and European policies in action. And nothing will happen on fulfilling the goals and targets if it is not action on local level. So for reaching the local level, the National Energy Agency use the Regional Energy Agency, who is coordinating all the energy advisors in the municipalities. And it has been a quite successful method to work with, to reach down to local level. Anyhow, national targets for, wait a minute. The targets for renewable energy in Sweden is to reach 50% to 2020. And as you can see, we're almost there. And in 2010, and I think we are reached 50% now this year. And we also have a 10% renewable fuel for transport in 2020, and a long-term ambition to have a vehicle fleet independent of fossil fuels in transport in 2030. And we also have a target for the 40% decrease of greenhouse gas emission until 2020, and a 20% ambition target on energy efficiency until 2020. So, as you can see, this is a picture of final energy use in residential and service sector, and you can see that oil products is almost phased out and replaced by district heating and electricity during the last years. And in industry, you can also see that oil products is about to be phased out. And we also have a program for energy efficiency in the energy intensive industry. And we have electricity certificate for increasing production of renewable energy electricity. And also grants for energy mapping in industry, in companies. Or for transports, we have petrol that is decreasing last years, but we have an increased use of diesel instead. And on top, we have, you can see, we are beginning to increase the use of renewable motor fuels. And these are mainly from ethanol and biodiesel. And also biogas is increasing the last years. And we have a proposal for a quota obligation aimed at doubling the ethanol and admixture in petrol and increasing the proportion of FAME in diesel. And electricity. The base production of electricity comes from hydropower and nuclear power. And then we have some combined heat and power electricity from district heating, and also gas turbines and industrial back pressure. But the fastest growing electricity production is from wind power. And it is growing fast. Today we have a production of 8 terawatt hours, and the expected production is to be increased to 16 terawatt hours until 2016. And there is also a planning frame for increased wind power to 2020 to 30 terawatt hours. And that is in the planning, they plan to be 20 terawatt hours on land-based and 10 terawatt hours on sea-based wind power. And you can see the development of wind power the last years, the production, the blue line on the diagram. And Sweden and Norway has a joint electricity certificate market to promote renewable electricity production from renewable energy sources. And the target is to increase the electricity production from renewables by 26 terawatt hours until 2020 compared to 2012. And about district heating, you can see that almost, I guess, near 90% of the district heating is based on biofuels, waste heat, and a little bit of peat. So now I'm going to present to you a project that we have been working with in north of Sweden in 21 municipalities, and try to convince the municipalities that is to work more with sustainable energy, to develop possibilities to increase the business opportunities to exploit the natural resources. And to do that, we invited the municipalities to join the project, and we offered them an examination of how they use the energy today, and we made scenarios for the future that we showed them how it could be in the future if they go in a business as usual scenario or with a green scenario. And we presented this to the decision makers and the leading politicians and also invited representatives from the local business in the municipalities. And then after that we had made an inventory of renewable energy sources in the municipality, which we also presented on a seminary. And then we had roundtable discussions where we discussed how shall the municipality work to exploit the natural resources and what decision has to be taken. And we saw this as a market analysis for business development. And we noticed that there was a big potential for renewable energy sources. One of the biggest was in forestry, that we could almost double the production from the forest until 2020. And it comes from climate change make the forest to grow faster, and also silviculture, more thinning, clearing, and fertilization that could increase the production from the forest. And we have a lot of forest in northern Sweden. Solar energy is an opportunity that we don't exploit that much up in the north of Sweden, but we have possibilities. We have most sun hours in whole Sweden during along the coastline in the Botnian Bay. We have waste heat from the industry. We have pulp and paper industry, steel works that produce a lot of heat that is not taken care of that much. We have in some municipalities that have been, like in Luleå, we are heating up whole the city with waste heat. But the biggest opportunities is wind power. We have a lot of space. We are sparsely populated. There are not so many conflicts between citizens and other interests, where we can build a lot of wind power. We are in these 21 municipalities. We found out there is an interest for wind power in some stage of development in these municipalities for 42 terawatt hours. And then we didn't have one municipality that is building now 1,000 wind turbines, was not included in this. So if we include that municipality, Piteå, we could reach over 50 terawatt hours. So when we worked with each municipality we didn't notice that how big potential we had. But when we summarized in these 21 municipalities, we came up with almost 60 terawatt hours of renewables. And if this has a value in money, if we can make business out of it. And we also promoted some good examples for how we can use these renewables. Small-scale district heating, where 360 villages with more than 50 inhabitants with no district heating. Bioenergy combined with solar. We have distributed fuel production from forest residues in the inland, in the small municipalities where it is near where they harvest the forest residues. They can have distributed pyrolysis plants which produce a synthesis gas which could be transported to a central plant for making fuels. So in all these municipalities, 162 targets was formulated, 239 concrete proposals for action was taken. And we noticed there was an increased awareness of possibilities. And all the municipalities started some kind of strategic work from this project. And 7 municipalities signed the Covenant of Mayors, and some haven't done so much yet. But I think we have a possibility to go further and work this way, but we have to know what we have in our regions when it comes to potentials for renewables, and we have to also work with awareness about these potentials for politicians, decision makers, for the business possibility. So, and also find out what makes sustainable energy projects to be realized, what barriers, what have we to overcome. That's my point. Thank you.